The Lebanese economy today is under a lot of pressure. There is first a lot of corruption in the public sector, which generates a lot of waste that is impacting the Lebanese economy through billions of dollars that are wasted out of taxpayers' money. And the same taxpayers and citizens end up paying twice the amounts for services such as electricity, water, registration, and all sorts of business dealings that they do on an everyday basis. This means that the cost of red tape and corruption for the economy is evaluated at 3 to 5% of GDP on an annual level, which is which means basically that the economy can grow by more than 3% if we just account for corruption and waste. At the same time, the economy is still relying on transfers from abroad and still relying on remittances and aid money flowing in with not a big pickup for exports and production. If this situation continues, the Lebanese economy will go more into the black and we will become more and more dependent on these transfers, which are volatile to political and economic regional situations. The Lebanese pound, which is pegged to the dollar at 1,500 liras per dollar, has been stable for a while. The stability of this pound depends on many factors. The first factor is the intervention of the central bank in the exchange rate market through putting up dollars whenever there's a lot of demand on foreign currencies. Where does the central bank get its dollars? It gets them from bank deposits and purchases of foreign currency and swaps with the local banks and international markets. The central bank has a big reserve of foreign currency evaluated at more than $10 billion. At the same time, the central bank has been actively maintaining a policy of accumulating foreign reserves to kind of have a buffer against any security threat or any threat on the currency. The main threat on the stability of the currency comes from decline in remittances and transfers, if it ever happens. This would mean that the foreign dollars entering the Lebanese economy, if they were to decline, then we will have a serious issue in terms of finding these foreign reserves and in terms of replenishing whatever reserves the central bank has. But so far, with a stable flow of foreign remittances, there is no risk in the medium term on the Lebanese lira. The government has accumulated over the years more than 140% of GDP in public debt. This is a very big number. However, most of this debt is held by local banks and by the central bank. And this debt is imposing a debt service on a yearly basis of almost $5 to $6 billion as payments that the Lebanese government should pay to refinance and to repay back this debt. So every year the Lebanese government has to pay back this debt, and if it keeps on accumulating deficit, then this debt will increase even more. This policy cannot be maintained forever because the government cannot print money, they cannot generate money other than taxes, or if they want to keep on borrowing, they need to have a ceiling on how much money they should borrow. The policy until now has been almost walking in the dark. The government just gets treasury bills, issues them, and then at some point even asks for more money than what is needed. This is a symptom of the mismanagement at the Ministry of Finance and at all financial institutions governing the country. And the only solution is to have first a more efficient governance of the public finances, at the same time looking at public accounts on a medium-term basis every 4 or 5 months, and not wait till the end of the year to figure out that yes, we're broke and we need to pay back some money and then running after treasury bonds to release them.